Alright, number 2 on the 4th of July. Video number 2 today. Last video we did it on the eviction, a little bit of real estate. We're going to go back to criminal defense for today's video. For today's second video. Alright, the other day I talked about what to do when you've been arrested. I think I had 3 main topics, 3 or 4. Number 1, don't break the law. Number 2, stay calm. Number 3, cooperate. Number 4, shut the hell up. Should have put number 5 in there, so I didn't because it has nothing to do with being arrested. It's kind of what happens after you've been arrested. Number 5, if you've been arrested, you want to get a lawyer. You have to get a lawyer. Doesn't matter. You got to figure it out. You need to have a professional in there. A lot of people think they could be their own lawyers. I would not recommend it at all. I could probably, change the oil in my car so I wouldn't have to pay someone, a mechanic, to do it, but I'd probably get it wrong. It'd probably take me all day, and at the end of the day, a whole wasted day, I'd probably get it wrong. So you need to get a professional to help you out if you've been arrested. Now, a lot of the people that I may be talking to, at least that's who I want to talk to, Level Up 247, is typically the underprivileged. A lot of times, they can't afford an attorney. Well, our Constitution here in America allows you to have counsel if you've been arrested in the criminal sector. So that means if you do not have the funds for an attorney, the court will appoint you one. Okay, that's very, very important. A lot of clients call me and they want an attorney. I assess their financial situation and let them know, listen, you may be better off with a court-appointed attorney, because a court-appointed attorney is free to you. It's paid by the county, of course, but it's free to you. You have to fill out some paperwork. You have to prove to the court, for the most part, how much money you make, what your bills are, what your child support is, what your payments are in this, or payments are in that, and at the end it tells, they ask you what's your net, and then they determine, I don't know what the number is that they determine, what's below or above, but at the end of the paperwork they determine whether or not you can get a court-appointed attorney. Most people can get a court-appointed attorney, so I would definitely recommend that. So the great thing is about it's free. A lot of potential clients ask me, well, I don't want a court-appointed attorney. I want to pay for an attorney because I hear court-appointed attorneys aren't that good. Well, I don't know how true that is, because I was a court-appointed attorney years and years ago. And in order to be a court-appointed attorney, you have to have good standing with the court. You can't just be anybody. You have to have good standing. That means that they know who you are, you've been in there before, they haven't filed any grievances on you, and they like you, you know what I mean? So you have to have good standing with the court. It's a very big deal for a court-appointed attorney. They're also experienced. Every county has a different experience level. You have to have you have to have taken a particular criminal defense class. So you're going to be getting an attorney that's worth his salt. Now, like I said, some clients are like, well, I want to pay for an attorney. I don't trust the court-appointed attorneys. Well, to be honest, court-appointed attorneys, they get court-appointed clients, and that's not an easy thing to deal with either. So it kind of works both ways. Court-appointed attorney, when I've gotten court-appointed clients before, and their phone doesn't work. They don't live where they said they're going to live. They don't come to the appointments. They don't come to the courthouse. They don't come to the scheduled meetings to discuss the case. So it can go both ways. One of the main complaints clients have of attorneys is that they don't return phone calls. And sometimes that happens. And it happens a lot. If that's the number one complaint, it does happen a lot. But you should at least think about getting a court-appointed attorney if you do not have the funds to hire an attorney. And I've known court-appointed attorneys that have been court-appointed attorneys their entire career. So some of the best attorneys, like in our area, are get court-appointed attorneys. I just got a call the other day. Hey, what do you think about attorney X? Like, well, I think that person's, pretty good. I think that person's very, cares for the client, makes sure works very hard for the clients, is very studious. Like, oh, well, one of the people I know got that person as a court-appointed attorney. I want to see how well she does. I said, man, she is a woman. Man, she's really good. I would be happy if I were to get her as a court-appointed attorney. So you can pick some really good attorneys. Now it's by luck. It's by who's ever on the list. So you can't pick your court-appointed attorney. The court picks it for you. Now, if you get a court-appointed attorney and you do not like that attorney, you have every right to terminate the relationship. Now, if you terminate, depending on why you terminate, let's say you terminate because you can't get a hold of the attorney, you guys aren't communicating, things are just breaking down, well, the court may give you another court-appointed attorney. However, if you just don't like that court-appointed attorney, you're just not feeling that court-appointed attorney, you say, you know what, I just don't want this person. Well, the court may then, at that time, say, you know what, we gave you a court-appointed attorney. If you don't like that attorney just because you don't like her, well then, we're not going to give you another court-appointed attorney. You're going to have to retain your own attorney. So that could happen too. You want to keep that in mind. But you want to get a lawyer. Now, if you want to pay for an attorney, that's called retained. You retain an attorney. Well, it's not free. It's going to cost money. And sometimes it's going to cost a lot of money. But, from my experience, a retained attorney is going to be a little bit more receptive and is going to work a few more angles. I'm not saying the court appointed don't do that, but in my experience, retained attorneys are very receptive and work as many angles as they can. Receptive, I mean by phone calls, text messages. I'm a retained attorney. I'm very good at answering phones and answering text messages on days off, on weekends, nights, doesn't matter. My clients pay a lot of money, so I have to be there for my clients. And working angles, I mean trying to figure out what's the best way to resolve a certain case. Now, most of our cases, it really depends on what my client wants, but most of my cases, they say, I just want to stay out of jail. Just keep me out of jail. I need to work. I need to take care of my family. Okay, no problem. That's one angle, and that's not too difficult an angle. Of course, it depends on the criminal history, the severity of the case, things of that nature. But then you get some clients that say, you know what? I'm not doing anything. Not guilty. I want to not guilty. I want to go to trial, get this off my record. Well, that's why it costs money, and that's why you got to look at different angles. And typically, that's what I do with my clients. We try and look at what angles there are and how best to prepare for a potential trial. Obviously, we like to avoid a trial at all costs. Not at all costs, but we like to avoid a trial if we can, but we're going to prepare for trial. And the idea is that we prepare so well for trial that the other side, gives us, basically what we want to resolve the case. So that's really it. Appointed is free. They have good standing with the court. They're experienced. I like appointed attorneys. But if you feel like you want to get a retained attorney, well, you're just going to have to it's going to cost money. That's it. But they may be a little bit more receptive, and they may be able to work a few more angles. I like both. You could even get a court appointed, fire them, get a retained attorney, see how it is. And that's really it. But at the end of the day, if you've been arrested, you need to get a lawyer, and that's it. You need to figure out a way to get a lawyer, because the repercussions of getting arrested can have an effect on you for the rest of your life, especially if you're young. So my first rule, don't break the law. But if you find yourself being arrested, charged with a crime, get an attorney. You can call a few. You can meet a few. Ask your friends, ask your neighbors, ask your relatives who they would recommend. And when you talk to the attorney, let them know what you want. That's one of the first questions I ask my clients. Well, how do you want to resolve this case? And then we go from there, and I can determine, how we're going to attack this particular charge. So keep that in mind. Again, you can see me at thevelalawfirm.com. You can call me at 844-380-8352. That's toll free. You can also see me on levelup247.com, where the shirt is, where the hat is. I'd really appreciate it if you could check out the website, buy a product or two so that you could help the cause. I appreciate you watching the video. If you could comment, maybe give me some ideas for another video. Like I said, I'm an attorney. I'm in Level Up 247, which is kind of like a charity situation, and I'm into real estate. Last video was about eviction. So if you got some ideas that you might want to cover, you got some questions, I'd love to hear them. So again, I appreciate your time, and we'll look forward to the next video. Thanks.